大家好，欢迎收听 Love CRN，这里是 Chinese Rainbow Network 华人彩虹联盟的专属博客，为您分享全球华人 LGBTQ+ 群体的故事。今天比较特别，我们请来了一位外国友人，所以我们今天大多数的情况下将会用英文。我们今天这个特别的节目。Okay, today we want to bring two very exciting guests, Chase and Chris. Some of you guys already see our post from our Instagram. Chris bring the great news that actually he's able to gaining a spousal visa from China Customs Service, which is a kind of big news because a lot of folks don't even realize that this is something already exists. More about that, Chris is a big like a media owner on the social on Xiaohongshu, and he has shared so many interesting stories about his life in China as an openly gay couple and in a China, one of the most conservative rural area. So his story with his partner Chase could be very interesting. So let's start with that. Hello, Chris and Chase. Do you want to say hello to our audience?
We're so excited to be here, and thank you so much for the opportunity to share our story.
Cool, cool, cool. Okay, always a story for couples. A question for couples is how do you guys meet? Grinder or somewhere else?
Sure, I'll say
Oh man,
it.
it seems like quite story. Tell us.
Yeah, we the first time we met was online, as I guess you can imagine. He saw me on an app called Blued, which I'm sure most Chinese people know about. It's when I was living in Guangzhou.
Oh, okay.
So
Keep going.
yeah, he saw me on there, but he didn't message me because he assumed that if he talked to me on Blued, then maybe it would just be a one night stand and not something serious. So later on, we were in the same Guangzhou gay WeChat group. So as you know, to make a community in China, it's kind of difficult to be open about it. So there's many gay groups within a city that tell you we're doing an event here. We're all going to meet up at this park. We're going to go to this bar tonight. So we were both in the same group. And I just so happened to see his picture and I thought he was really cute. So I was
Of
new to
course.
China and I really just wanted to make friends.
Mm.
Ultimately, I was feeling a bit lonely after 6 months of living in China. I didn't make many new friends that were outside of work. So I messaged him and I said, "Hey, do you want to come over to my house and drink some water and chat?" And this was genuine.
Okay, I
Oh,
believe
I
you.
just wanted to make friends. I truly wanted to just have a conversation. And he agreed. Did you think that you were coming over for just water?
No.
I like. I gotta think. I like
I
this.
mean, actually, he missed the one part is like at that time in Guangzhou have a bar called a gay bar called Keiko. So I was at I was with my friends at hang out in Keiko and Keiko during the conversations and I know that he's living by the Keiko not far. So it's around like 2 p.m.
2 a.m.
2 a.m. It's around 2 a.m.
Important
And I
question.
said,
Thank you.
hey, are you sure you don't want to come out? Because if you want the like meet up, I'm heading home now. I'm so thirsty. Is that have some water? Was that okay? Water. Okay, all right. So I actually went to his apartment and we did start with water. We were sitting the sofa. We
talked for like 5 hours.
5 hours. We from like 2 p.m. 2 a.m. to like 7 more almost 8 a.m. Then
Yeah,
after that moment,
yeah,
yeah,
5 hours is already tells a lot of things, right? It means that you guys click at the first sight, right? And it's more than just you're already connecting deeply on the first night, which is kind of
exactly. Yeah, it does. I've never also had like such a long conversation that we just wanted to continue and learn more about each other. So after that day, we really became inseparable. We were hanging out together every
so
single
sweet.
day. Yeah, we started to go out together to the bars instead of like with our own friends, and we started to go to restaurants together. And after 6 months of this, he was basically at my house every day. Like he came over
Wow.
every single day. And after 6 months, I was like, why are you always here? Don't you have a job? Like, don't you have anything to do? Like, I don't like, I like guys who are motivated. And that's when he told me that when we met, he was actually in Guangzhou on vacation. And he never went back to his job in Shanghai because he thought that we might be able to click and it might be something that works out long term. So the whole time I was thinking that he's just a lazy guy. Actually, he was using his savings to hang out with me and to invest in a possible future between us. So after I found that out, we moved in together in an apartment in Guangzhou, and the rest is history.
Wow, what a sweet story. Actually, Chase, you did take some risk, I have to say. But
I did take
it's worth it. It's totally worth it. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I
yeah.
love such a sweet story. So, hey, Chris, seems like when you met Chase, you already in China for 6 months. What brought you in China?
I was working for Disney English, which is an old English teaching institution. They used to have schools all around China. And the main reason why I came was actually because of the Disney name. I
Got
was
it.
scared to work for a different English company, and I knew that working for an American company abroad, it would be a little bit more familiar. So I came for teaching. I did an English degree, English and linguistics in university, and I always knew I wanted to teach abroad, but I didn't know it was going to be China until Disney gave me that offer.
You know what? I can already tell that you are a great teacher. You're so good at talking and sharing. So, hey, quite curious. When you first came to China, what's the your initial impression? Any major cultural shock?
Well, my biggest exposure to China was the movie Mulan because I love Disney. So I thought that I was going to come to a very
Asian.
rural place. Yes, I did had no idea, about China's development in the West. We don't, especially at that time, that was 2017. We really didn't have a lot of information about how developed China was already. So when I landed in China and saw Guangzhou, I remember waking up the next morning like, am I in a dream? This like feels like a futuristic city. So my first impression was just really amazed at how developed China was compared to what I understood. And the
Is that
people
the
were very,
same?
very.
Yeah, the impression remains when you came to like a Chase hometown, Chaoshan. I think
Oh,
about
actually,
your rural life in China.
yeah, his hometown is not in Chaoshan. We will get a little bit into how we ended up in Chaoshan maybe
Okay,
later. His hometown is in Hunan, also a very small village though. And to be honest, rural Canada is less developed than rural China. There are places in rural Canada where it's like the internet connection might not be that great, or there are places who depend on water in different ways than they do here in rural China. Everyone has water, everyone has electricity, everyone has Wi-Fi. There's even delivery services for your village, right? So I think that being in a rural place in China has also shown me that there is not just development in big cities. They also try and give a good standard of living to people who are living in rural
that's true.
communities as
That's
well.
true. The infrastructure probably the major difference. Yeah. And by the
Yeah.
way, so let's talk about the family side. Since we're talking about Chaoshan, a lot of audience curious about like the coming out story, especially coming out to Chase family, right? Um, Anything you want to share? Any drama there?
It's not a big drama because I'm a very, I think I will call myself a very smart guy because I always know what I want and I presume what I want. So when I was in the middle school, I noticed that I'm slightly different. I attractive boys much more than girls. So when I was in the first year in university and that year I just confirmed that I like boys. And so it's a supreme. No,
So
it's
did you come out before meeting Chris to your family or after? You came out
before.
before. Oh, so you already set up a stage to your parents. Okay, that's great. And then
So when I was in like university first year in a summer holiday, and I went to my dad's workplace in Shanghai, and I just hang out over there. One day, my dad said, "Oh, can I use your laptop?" I said, "Okay." I get into my room, and I search for gay porns, and live into the main page, and then I pass my laptop to my dad, and so
and your dad opened it, a big pop-up.
You set a trap where he didn't have to say it.
I didn't
they
have
just
to
knew
say
it.
it. So my dad knew it, and afterwards he said, "Do you want to explain anything?" I said, "Oh, guys, is that a problem?" And my dad didn't talk to me, so my dad told my mom, told my sister, and my mom was crying, but my sister was trying to convince me, "Are you just really like boys, or just curious?" I thought I really like boys. The whole thing is a setup. I did this to let you guys know. So my sister is like, she's a very understandable person, and my mom, she's fine. My dad was a little bit hardcore, but like 2 months later, she's fine. He's fine.
Oh, things like
Because he was trying to convince me, are you gonna get a baby in the future? Are you gonna get married in the future? I was like, no. I just tell them I'm a kind of like selfish in that side, because I knew what I want. Like
it's
I'm
not selfish.
wasting my time, and I don't want to hurt another girl.
Yeah. You have to be very clear about who you are. That's not really selfish. If you are actually not being who you are, that's selfish because you have to hurt other people, right?
Yeah.
Actually, your parents only 2 months. Have to say that your parents seems like they did a lot of homework on their end and eventually accept you. So, it seems like then when you bring Chris in front of them, what's their response?
Oh, they loved him. They love him more than they love me.
Oh, that's a perfect scenario. That's a bad scenario. So
I'm glad that when we first met, I told him I want to start learning Chinese because he told me that his mom didn't speak English. So I'm glad that I took that seriously, and I know that communication is the only way to get someone to connect with you and to understand you. So I started learning Chinese right away. I started learning about family customs right away. So I feel like I was prepared to meet them, how not to embarrass myself, how to show them the type of person that I am and make the best impression that I could. And I think ever since then, whenever I spend time with his mom, I do my best to do what she would expect of any son who is coming into her family. And I think that she really appreciates that.
I can tell that the vibe you bring, Chris, that any parent will like you. So no doubt. Yeah. Tell us about that learning Chinese. Where are you with that? Maybe you can answer this question in Chinese if you want to try.
OK，我会说一点点，但是如果有东西是太难了，我不会说。我知道我的口音也是很美国的，但是我会听得懂很多。
Oh, actually, it's already really good. The fluency is good. Yeah, and the tone is tone is hard, but it's not something a blocker for communication because I can understand every single word of you. So, okay, who teach you the most? Is that Chris? Is that Chris family members? Or bilingual? Or what's the app? Bilingual?
Actually, I only took class when I was in Guangzhou for like 2 months. But soon after, when he found out how much I was paying for the classes, he said, no, I'll teach you. Faith has been my number one teacher. And with my first 4 years in China, because I was working in an English school, my Chinese was really, really bad. I couldn't speak Chinese at work. They encouraged us to only speak English in the classroom. All of my friends were foreigners. So I could really only get around with like ordering food and not ending up in the wrong place when I took a taxi anymore. But this year, since moving to Chaoshan, and because I don't work here, I just live my life, everything is in Chinese. So I feel like I've gotten much better with his family, especially. Here we live in Chaoshan. We live with my sister-in-law's husband's family. So they are from Hunan, but she married a man who is from Chaoshan. And they have a business here. And when we decided to move to China, we only wanted to move to spend time with our family, specifically our nieces, our 2 nieces. So when we decided to move here, we were unsure if we were going to live in our home in Hunan or if we were going to live here in Chaoshan. And my sister-in-law basically said, like, please just live in Chaoshan. We want you to be close to us. We want you to be easy to access. So our plan changed completely. They have this house here in my brother-in-law's ancestral home, and they just built it. And they basically said, like, you know, it's fate. We built it in a time where you were moving, and we only come here on the weekends. So just live here, stay here so that we can see you at least once a week. And because they are always here, they always have so many friends who come here every weekend. It's like a party. Nobody really speaks English besides my sister-in-law. So my Chinese has improved a lot in 1 year.
So although it started with a Chinese story, but it's end up like, I can tell that they love you so much. And are you already a kind of little star in the area that everyone knows you?
Yeah, when I walk around, most people are like, oh, it's the little Canadian or it's the little foreigner. It's funny that they call me little when I'm like 189 centimeters tall and a very big guy. But yeah, they definitely, you know, appreciate having something different and someone who, you know, just tries their best to mix into the culture here. I shop at all the little shops. When I need like some vegetables, if it's not in the garden, I go to the lady down the street. On the weekend, there's a goose farm and we go buy goose from him. So they appreciate having something different that they probably were not used to or expecting to have in the village.
That's so sweet. Yeah. So how do you respond to that, Chris? That seems like your husband is so popular in your friendship, even around the Chinese guys.
To be honest, that's totally fine with me. I'm a very chill person. He can shine. I just be there, and he will eventually come back to me.
I love the confidence.
He's a great talker, but I'm a great listener. So this what makes us like clap well. And he always shining, no matter in China or Canada or America. He always shining. But for me, I just go.
You know, the other place that he's shining is not just in like offline, he's also shining online, right? Hey, Chris, about Xiaohongshu, your content is getting popular and you got the invitation from like some even like some like company or Xiaohongshu invites you to some events, right? And you receive so many like supports, followers on Xiaohongshu. How do you feel about that?
It's great. I mean, when I moved back to Canada the first time from China, that's when I started to post online because it was really hard to find a job. It was still during COVID. I felt like I was spending so much time scrolling on TikTok that I was like, why don't I just start posting myself? You know, I have an interesting life. I feel like I have a perspective that I can share with people. So since then, I have really learned how to not only share my voice, but understand what an audience wants to see. And I think that coming to China with that practice on TikTok, and I have like 30,000 followers on TikTok, but really what TikTok showed me was how to create videos that people will keep on watching because it's such a difficult market. People have a low attention span. So finding that way that people will continue to watch and care about what I'm talking about, I think that those skills really shined here in China because I am unique. No matter how I try to be humble, I know that being a gay man in a gay relationship in a small village is probably something that most people have never seen before, let alone had someone talk about their own experience with. So I'm really glad that people are resonating with it. And I'm glad that I wasn't scared to share. At first, I was just going to post about my life and not really talk about being in a relationship or being gay. But I realized really quickly how much hope that it was bringing to young Chinese boys, and seeing them feel inspired and feel happy that they can have a future that's full of love and happiness and is just simple, is enough for me to keep posting. But of course, having followers join me and see my life now is more motivation too.
Absolutely. I have to say that you may not even aware that how important your account is for not just younger guys, even for any Chinese LGBT, because in general the visibility for the community is so low, and your existence, your coming out, your sharing stories about like your good life in China, it's you bring the image of this community to a group of the folks not even aware of the existence of us in a rural area, and it's so important that you're just through the light to so many people. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, indeed. That's why so many people likes you, and we just cannot get enough of your posts. So please keep going on. Don't stop.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. You know what? Now let's talk about the visa experiences. So it's a surprise, right? So this some of folks not aware of what happened there. Could you describe that?
Sure. When at the end of last year, 2024, we had decided that we wanted to spend time with our family here no matter what. We had just spent 3 years in Canada after we moved there and got married there.
Okay.
And we were living with my family the whole time. Basically, my parents didn't accept that we would move into an apartment because they were like, why? We have a house. We want to see you every day. Basically, the same thing that Chase's family did for us here, they did for us there. You know, we spent so much time together, and we felt like it was only fair to do the same here. So I went to apply for a tourist visa. We didn't know how long we would stay, but we knew, okay, I can get 6 months at a time. Let's go for 6 months and see your family and then come back to Canada. So when we went to go apply for the tourist visa, the invitation letter came from my sister-in-law. And in the invitation letter, it said, I will be responsible for my brother-in-law while he is in China. And when the officer at the visa office told us, when the officer at the visa office saw this invitation letter, he asked me, are you married to a Chinese woman? This says my brother-in-law. And I said, no, I'm not, but this is my Chinese husband. And then he said, oh, so you're married here in Canada? I said, yeah, we are. And he said, with this invitation letter, I can't give you a tourist visa. We have to apply for a family visa. And we were just shocked. Like, we literally were just staring at each other like, what do you mean? Like, we were so confused, you know, like we even told him, we were like, but our marriage isn't recognized in China. So how is that possible? And he said, well, we're operating in Canada and all legal documents within Canada can be used for your application. So he said, do you have your marriage certificate with you? And luckily, I'm a very type A person and I pack everything all the time. So I had our marriage certificate with us. We gave the marriage certificate along with our application. And he said, okay, everything is good. Come back in 4 days and you're going to have a family visa. So when I still gave the documents, like kind of unsure. And then we looked at each other and we screamed. We literally screamed. We were like, oh, and we skipped out of the visa office so happy and really shocked that this was the case. And it wasn't until we came back to the visa office and I received my passport with a 10-year spousal visa, you know, family reunification visa, that everything changed. We were like, okay, well, with this, we can stay longer and we can really truly spend time with our family and connect with them. And that's when I realized, you know, I can't work on a spousal visa and that I have to come in and out every 6 months, but it was no problem. When I first moved to Canada, I purposely created my own online business, started posting videos, got my own clients, got my own students, so that we can live anywhere in the world and it wouldn't be a problem. So it really felt like all of our hard work in those 3 years in Canada to make it possible for us to move back to China paid off and was worth it.
What a great stories. I can imagine that if I'm just standing next to you, I'll also scream like a girl.
Yeah, everyone kind of looked at us and they didn't know what was happening, but they were happy to see us so happy.
Do you know that do you realize that actually at the moment that it may actually carry a broader symbolic and even social significance at that moment? Or maybe now you realize that.
Yeah, I don't think we realized. I don't know. How do you feel? Did you realize that it was like something special that was happening that I got a spousal visa?
Yeah, I never heard because I never heard anyone had that type of like a spousal visa before. So I was like, we were like very very happy if we only got like a 1 year like a tourist visa. But after we like informed that we got a 10 years visa, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we realized the broader the broader implications or what it would mean for other people. And I didn't realize until I first posted that video that it was so unique and how many people have been reaching out for interviews and to talk about this experience. I think only now it's starting to hit me, and even getting messages from people who are asking me like, how did you do this? I have a spouse that is also a foreigner, and I had no idea that we could think about establishing a life in China until now. So only in the past couple of months have I seen the impact that it has and how many people that this is inspiring. And I think on a personal note, I was really scared because I felt like, if the Chinese government finds out about this, will they take away my visa? Like, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they weren't supposed to actually give me a visa. But then I realized, like, no, the Chinese government doesn't make mistakes. There's no way that anyone in that embassy would have done that so quickly if they didn't have a precedent, maybe someone else who's done it before, or were already told that this is possible. So I realized I need to stop being selfish and just share my story openly, because as we've seen, it can help.
I agree that it wouldn't be a mistake, especially because it's a person that reminds you that you need to do that. It's so uncommon, and it's actually means that it's already an existing procedure. Yeah. So, but it's very Chinese government style. Is they won't tell, but they just do it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like nowhere on the website, of course, are they going to say like, you can have a gay marriage. It just says you need a marriage certificate. So it's up to you to interpret what that means, right?
Exactly. So Chinese. This is indeed meaningful, almost like a milestone. And you know what? If now people are starting to think about, is that possible for more to come? What if, like, if China further recognize same-sex partnership, or maybe start with partnership in the future, what would that mean to you personally?
That means we're gonna live in China forever.
Oh, please stay forever.
Personally, we like the styles, living styles in China. But I know Christians really miss his family sometimes, so that's why we go back to Canada every year. When we stay there for like 1 or 2 months, stay with his family. But personally, I think the China's living style is much more better, much more convenient, much more cheaper. Canada right now, so it's very expensive. Everything in Canada is very expensive. But just China's life is better.
Yeah, the price is just a way bigger shock. It's a shock on the price difference. Totally agree. I'm so happy to hear that you guys indeed have the China in your future. Seems like the 10 years already important, like a confidence or a buffer here, but if it recognize more, it's just give you guys like another level of like a comfort zone there, right? Man,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
Yeah.
Like when Chase, when the same feeling that I had when I got my spousal visa was when Chase got his green card, his permanent residence in Canada. You know, having that legal feel, like the legal
Yeah.
support, legal foundation, the legal recognition that you're able to live somewhere is completely different, right? You feel
Totally.
stable, you feel comfortable. So for me, while I'm very, very grateful for having my visa, I feel, you know, extremely appreciative of this opportunity. There's always something in the back of my mind that makes me feel worried, that makes me feel like it's temporary because I can't just simply work, right? I can't receive the same you know, I can't receive the same
Same
feeling of
protection. Yeah.
security as
Yeah.
Chase can feel within Canada. And I know, of course, you know, China is not a country that is built on immigration. China has a completely different population that it needs to cater to first. I understand that completely, and I'm grateful just to have the chance to live here. But I think that when it comes to things like, you know, medical, housing, our inheritance, all of those things,
Yeah.
having more legal
Yeah.
support between us would make me feel more willing and more secure to
Totally.
make a life here together that's long term.
Totally. Let's all wish for it happen. And we are also trying to make it happen. Like you know what, at this moment, like it's very challenging time. Like we even visibility is something we have to fight. It's quite different from US. So that's why like as a Chinese immigrant group, CRN, we are trying our best to help. We like march on the streets in all the major US Canada cities on the Pride periods, so that people see that the group still exists. And we'll also create like a scholarship for the younger generation in China to let them be proud of who we are. And we're also so happy to have you. And if more folks like you shows up and more people seeing that who are LGBT, we are such a vivid, cool, fun group. And I have the face of the future. It just takes time. It's just start the whole journey for China, for Chinese LGBT is much shorter than US. So yeah, I believe in the future. Last question. Yeah, totally. Let's all work on it. Yeah. And you know, eventually Chinese people are nice. It's just ignorance. I think it's just ignorance. Once they know, they accept it. Yeah, you agree, right?
Yeah, like so many people we met had never met a gay couple, had never had gay friends, have never had a gay family member. But believe me, none of our friends here are gay. Everyone's straight and they love us. And you know, they're happy to spend time with us. And really, most of them are just like, you know, I never had a gay friends before, but you guys are just normal people. I'm like, exactly our point.
I want to give you a high five. You really did so much, so great and important work for all of us. Last question, just give one message, like each of you give one message to our community, to overseas Chinese, to like interrace or international couples, or even the younger generation of families. What's the message you want to share with them?
For a couple, I think understanding and comprehension is very important. You have to come if you want. If you are single right now, enjoy your single time. Go have fun. If you're in a relationship, respect your partner and always supporting him is very important.
Success.
And I would say, don't give up hope. I know that for a lot of LGBTQ people around the world, sometimes the situation can feel hopeless, that there's no future ahead of you that is a happy one or a normal one. But we are one couple out of very many happy couples out there who live normal, boring lives where they just have family around them, they cook, they clean, they just work normal lives. And that feeling of normalcy is possible for anyone in any situation. So if you are the type of person who doesn't see yourself represented in people who are out partying all the time, who are living these very different, subversive lives, and you think that you just want a monogamous relationship with one person, with a family that's around you and supporting you, that life is also possible. It's just that many people who are living that life don't think that their story is fun or interesting or worth sharing, but we're out here, and a happy normal life is possible.
So sweet and so inspirational. Okay, thank you so much for your time, Chris and Chase. And we just hope to talk with you more in the future, and hope for the best for the future. And please keep posting on Xiaohongshu or anywhere you can. When you have time, if you want to visit, when you guys visit like Bay Area, or if you guys visit Zhenjiang where I am, let me know. We hope to see you guys in person at some time.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris and Chase. Bye.
Bye, everyone.